Right, Fambulem, I bring warm greetings to Una from the TNN podcast. Today, now the 23rd of July, 2025. The time on my side is 6:07, 18:07. Freetown, I believe, is 5:07. And so is Monrovia and other places and difference. Well, we just want to rob more for certain issue pertaining to the ruling party, the SLPP. And this range from the fight within, for them one day we don't see with flyer, the fight within obviously, and this range from the flag bearer supposedly name with a trend inside the SLPP, which is of significance because people need to keep an eye and ears out. I also want to talk about the First Lady, Madam Fatima Bio, and a feature on the flyer we asked whether is she a spoiler or maker? Is she a divider in chief or a unifier? So we asked that question here and we'll deal with that this morning. It's not a long podcast per se, but we get a few things that we want to talk about, obviously. We also want Rob Motman, another SLPP strongman. We go quiet for quite a while and supposedly waiting at the reason when Jimmy Batilo Songa. And we will talk about Dr. Prince Harding, the diminishing power. And obviously elections within the SLPP and the importance of delegates and how the Kukujumuku they play. And we will talk about former Chief Minister Professor David Francis in apparent greed for power and how we fall out of favor with the current leadership. So we go Rob Motman. I want to begin with the national chairman of the party and the leader of the party, and they talk about SLPP. So obviously, 6 years ago, this particular month, we will do a program on an issue where happened for relates to waiting they happen now. So 6 years ago this month, if you remember, there was a difference where erupt within the party circle. Obviously, it's a power struggle. Dr. Prince Harding, prior to July 2019, the position inside the SLPP of chair and leader of the party now be a combined position when a one person in hold them. And the one person will hold this position means say now in the most powerful person within the party. And such was the role where Prince Harding gets as chairman and leader of the SLPP. But that is equally very dangerous for the sitting president. Because why? As chairman in party, the kind of power where Prince Harding wield is so much that it's so great that he able for machinate the process, not stack the president per se, because the president then will come for can lobby for a flag bearer position. So Prince Harding they in a position for knock off the president in bid for be a flag bearer. If you know to flag bearer, you go forward for will be president. So it become complicated, but Prince Harding will get such power within now. And I think say this not be a necessary evil within the party, but the president not be seen so the president take action, and there was an internal coup, I will call them, because they machinate the process despite the profile of being democratic as the party was supposed to be. They knock off Prince Harding. In the end, they split the leadership of the party between the two men. So currently, as we speak, since then, from 2019, this is 6 years ago, the chairman, the national chairman, who was elected again, happens to be Dr. Prince Harding, but it's more of a diminished role because it's not as powerful as he used to be as a singular individual inside the party, holding then two positions and they combine chairman and leader. The current leader for the party, now the sitting president, and then it deemed necessary that the sitting president will be the leader for the party. So one person outside of that executive business day no will get the power for recall when elections come for elect a flag bearer and decide who that in one for puts the. So we can understand all of this. So from that point, the point I'm trying to make is Dr. Prince Harding, in role may not begin the reverse. In power within the party may not begin the reverse, because don't get me wrong, he was a very powerful man, still remains relevant because he gets a constituency. And as I know, he's well loved in that constituency. He spends time there in village where they go every year, probably 2, if not more than that, a year. They go there. Okay. So it remains relevant in that respect. But this role don't begin to diminish up to a point where I want to jump now to the first lady, where sort of you know try to take away the small power where Prince Harding get. But before I go there, let me rub more small on the first lady. I mean, you have to give it up to this woman. You have to be honest. I'm not a huge fan in certain respect, and this is because of the nature of the national politics. But if you get the temerity, you get the psyche, you get the understanding in so short a time for able to manipulate and take control and step in uncomfortable places and take control. Where I say take control, you take control and you dictate the pace. Okay. And this now within the party circle, things that we can do nationally as well, even though she's not an elected person. She's more relegated to being the wife of the president. But it play some major role there, very much not the ceremonial role where you expect of a first lady who is humble behind Imam. Well, most people like can think say just the bully man, but I don't want to think so, because a tactician barely speaks. And I believe this is what the man does. You know what tell me say that again, wife the notch. You know what tell me say what you have to go do, you know, aware, or even if you don't go do and wake come, if you're upset with them, you don't go tell them off. Yeah, there will be few things. But largely the woman know what they do, and this is not something where you don't do now for a number of years. They don't do them and getting away with it. So you know that there is no repercussion, nothing of that kind. So nobody really try for deterrent. Of course, that's how powerful the human be. On the national scene, again, this problem of interfering in government business, they dictate policy and other things them. Because why? She wields a lot of power. And first ladies normally do, but they can be conservative with their power and sit down at the background. They pull strings in the background. This one, they now the foreground. And this is why I say you have to give it to her, because even within the party circle, she is divisive in the party circle. I don't think she cares much, because she gets what she wants as per the action and way they carry out, because this now necessary means to an end. Now it continue for do, and it emerge victorious. So you don't have to like her in that sense. She's been tactical, she's been strategic. Sometimes the method, you know, is unconventional, unorthodox. But then if you set your objective for a certain outcome and you go, you know, forward with your objective and get the outcome where you desire, where you seek, then obviously the rest doesn't really matter. Because yes, you will step on some toes, you will get for jump over people there who may not like that, you sound disrespectful, but you get an objective. And you don't set yourself, you know, at that level. What it matter now in the end, you realize that, and this is what this lady has been doing, much to the dislike of a certain section of the party, and this is something that I know for sure. And she's rumpled a few feathers within the party, to a point where people are openly talking about either the formation of a new party, break away, you know, from there, or take away their support. Some even they consider whether they should support another side. We're not impossible, hard, but not impossible. Okay? So such is waiting to happen within the party. In terms of the First Lady and Prince Harding, what we talk about earlier is we can clearly see, say, the last power we left within Prince Harding and a dignified man inside the SLPP Slpp Paopa, we was once a feared name because he's equally ruthless. These are people that will lie on Dr. Kane Yunkela say, to be member of the party, which was deliberate because they want for humiliate them. This is the nature of politics, okay? And when they come and try to play decent politics, the ruthless one them, then go drive the fear of God inside you, then go molest you, call you names, intimidate you, threaten you, and in some or on some occasion, then go evil rumple you up, molest you in a physical sense. So these are the people that maybe they run the APC, having the SLPP, where to a point, a turnout for me say a nickname was Bullet. Can you imagine a man nickname now Bullet? That was Prince Harding. But everything get expiring date. Everything that goes up, we know, will come down. The only constant is change. These are things that we know fully well. So Prince Harding in power don't erode up to a point now where the last vestiges of the power we left or dignity we left, now in the First Lady take away from her. So you see, you can imagine that these are the kind of people the First Lady they challenge because she's wrestling away power for herself or for a circle. That's exactly what she's doing. And this is not some kind of 6-dimensional or 7, 8-dimensional chess now in the woman they play. To be honest, it took some people a while for them to understand, some don't understand it today. But most people, if they're in that situation, they will do probably even worse. Because the idea now for preserve the nature of the power, outside them feel say it belong and then that circle. So she's just doing the bidding of the circle, the inner circle of the president. So if you sabi play chess, you go see say the general is protected. I mean, the king, and in this case, Marabio, is protected by the queen. And in this case, the queen, Fatima Bio, she is the general of the army. Let's be honest. In many respects, she's the general of the army. She dictates the pace in which the foot soldiers them for move. Now, they draw out the strategy, the plan, along with others, though. And she's very much in the faces of people. She's very much out there in the public. She's taking microphone. She doesn't hesitate, for stepping. And sometimes you can see in body action. And if you don't watch them for a while, because we don't watch them for like 7 years, the other thing where it's just too much is the woman is always on the videos. Every small thing you open your social media page, the First Lady get video there, get a video there. Some of the video them, they are of little relevance because sometimes in a hints like in a pool, but somebody need for tell First Lady, Madam Fatima, say in a real First Lady, not to active First Lady, not to act in the act, because sometimes because they get a background in acting. So most times you see them, they on video, they throw hints, they dance. I mean, she dances a lot. It's like nothing else is happening. But on a more serious note, this woman, they wrestle power from other people, and they try to preserve power within. They can make the analogy about playing chess, the general and the king, the general in business, now for maintain the king in safety and in sanctity, that nobody know for can near her. She will rather take the bullet for the king. In fact, that's the role. And this is exactly the role where he played. But like I say, it don't cause so much consternation within the SLPP because a lot of people don't like that. You get veteran within the party where feel say she's new. She's just the wife of the president. They're supposed to be humble and just respect the man. But you see, she does not come from the traditional blend of first ladies, although sometimes it will overact the thing where, in a sense, like I say, done inside and party circle. But when it comes to the national level, of course, we all can opine inside because she's not an elected official. So she should not be doing certain things the way they do. They can pull the strings and decide which form of ladies they use for do. Even now, other nations, then, including the United States of America, the first ladies can be very, very powerful, but then they be on the scene because they can't overshadow the man them when are in the vote for, because the voters will not even like that, because that will show no respect for the voters. So then we'll tell the man they're waiting for you, and it will be done because why? A woman. So we see that it challenged Dr. Prince Harding just the other day and tell us, say, listen, you see, some of the secrets they wouldn't come on and do. He said, Dr. Harding, say, I sabi all you tweak them, just like how you sabi all me tweak them. So when person say this, because if you don't sabi person in tweak, you get forget one secret trick because you not sabi each other tricks. So you get forget one super trick where they out trick the other person. And in this case, the first lady holds that power because of the power where he gets. A man na in the president, a man na in the alpha, a man na in the omega, na the be it and end it, everything. It rotates around the executive, around the presidency. And we know how the executive can be really, really powerful. So now that power they now in the first lady they use, and they use them to an extent for also preserve the power, which is obvious that a number of people not going to like their idea. And this is exactly within the happen within. Up to the point, like I say, don't ruffle a few feathers, which brings me to Jimmy Batilo Songa. Of course, Jimmy Batilo Songa is a household name. The guy gets a very unique name, Batilo. I remember the first ever area, really admire him. There are a few names of that kind. Yeah. I remember a long time ago, I had a friend called Yengefe Sandy, one of the Sandys. And obviously, Yengefe, they go around, they put money, don't buy it. Say, nobody not getting a name. Such the name was unique. And during that time there, they talk about when, maybe 20 years ago, 30 years ago or so, yeah. So the name wasn't, it was unique. Yeah. So such is Batilo. So Batilo happened to be a strong man within the party. And when the party just kind of power, Slpp Paopa, obviously there was a circle of friends. The president, because Nayaso United Kingdom na the base, most of his support base been there. People that will be in a HIB, they pay due. Because politics, let's face it, now money, you get for go run campaign. Campaign means you get for print t-shirts, you get for cook food for let people eat. And so you get for find way for generate money. And most likely now people go they put. When the people they put, you get for reward them. And some people that were very close to the president. And we know say when he win power, he took those people along. A great many of them, they were here. We all walk the same streets, hung out at the same places. Of course, they become different now. They are loaded, they are minted, they get property them, they fly the world, and etc. So life has become different. So Batilo Bide, now this very center of the circle, and as I understand, it fall from grace. I don't know the exact story, but from waiting I they understand, in West get something for do with that. So two women then clash. Woman herself can get their own, their own thing going. Women, we can say the ego. So I think Batilo in West name Yata, and I believe say Yata is an MP from then Kailan area. And the family of Yata, they are very powerful within the very party. So this is the thing. So within the party, you get powerful pardon. We were there from the beginning on our family names, household names inside the party. We wield enough power where if they do them wait behind you, then it will bring a lot of others on board. But these two women them happen to forget a difference. Prior to the now, my understanding, I don't know whether I can describe them as good friends, but at least they were in the same circle of friends and they did get along. When they get power for a while, Batilo was doing well, had a plum job, but then as many others before him, he was axed and he did on the sidelines. Still they try, they do things, still get connections and what have you, but not a prominent government official. And party-wise, it's still powerful, but low-key. Because why, as per my understanding, is First Lady Fatima Bio and Yatta, then fall out. Fall out in the sense that, and this has happened with many other people. No one mentioned other names, but maybe based on the reaction later, I might mention a few names. We don't have some bad times with the first lady or or vice versa, the first lady with them. That happened for me one. So, like I say, the woman wield enough power and she's not playing. You can see the woman put in husband in picture. Because of course, the man responsible for the already get now. She's got money, she's minted. Okay. So you see the attitude sometimes I can negative because when he want throw hints at people and where he get issues with, he put out a video and just dance. And people they know, depending on the nature of the music, in reaction, you know who that they talk to, who that they talk about. So he get that power there. Yatta is doing well in an MP, a man, not very strong SLPP people, man, and we have very strong people and behind them. The nature of the party, not in there behind them. Okay, a power you not get. So the idea now, because of this power when the first lady wield, Yatta and others, they want for letting them bow down to the first lady. And when I say bow down, I mean really bow down. You recognize the first lady, not cross in path, try for be friendly. Libele, I think that the word down there. But not everybody's willing to do that. There's a lot of people doing that, but not everybody willing to do that. And if you're not willing to do that for dinner, the first lady in good books, she will ask you. And if she asks you, it becomes really difficult for you, especially if you are under the employ of a husband. So which many people are not fall from grace because, as we understand, if the first lady doesn't like you, you won't survive under the leadership of her husband. You have to go. So if you need favor, political favor, and any other favor, you have to play by the woman in rules. You have to. You have to refuse to. So as a consequence of that, as I understand, they fell out. And obviously, their action between the two ladies affect Yatta Iman. We're happy for the Jimmy Batilo Songa. And also now, as we speak, this is exactly what happened. There was a time when tension was so rife between the opposing party them. And then they talk about different parties. They talk about inside just the SLPP, opposing sides within the one party. That I think Mother will be the commotion side one day here in West First Lady. And I think Jimmy be the a particular place inside the pass. And I think they stop by. But because tension will not begin to mount from Jimmy Batilo Songa and your supporters them, will not be like the idea because remember, say when you get a plum job in government, you get battle boys them, battle girls them. We also depend on you because as they pull you in, as you said, they pull others. As you pull others, then they pull others as well. So it's a kind of chain work, if you like. So once you cut that main chain there, it affects a lot of other people who are depending on that chain. So obviously, you don't upset one, you don't know, so you don't upset a lot of other people will rely on this particular person. And survival, basically, it depends on this particular person. And such was the case that when the president and the first lady they passed and see Battle, I think they slow down or whatever. Stone nine open, so they begin vim the president. Yeah. And the convoy get for kind of pull out. And later on, I think they obviously it was resolved. But as we speak, still in at the side, which brings me to the next point of the former chief minister, why he was asked, as I understand, asked in the sense of AXE. It been too power conscious. And it been too, should I say, eccentric? And they try not to use the word tribal. But there was plenty of it in the chief minister, plenty of that in him. And you don't need to go too far for CC and we get the elements there inside. A lot of it, because he exhibited it at every given opportunity. And he was an aggressive man. I don't see in a public, where they react where not really happy. Even when he's speaking, you will call him passion, but there's a deep vent of anger inside. On top of that, he was really power thirsty, and we're working his way towards that. In terms of the action and way he take in the earlier stage, remember, say there was a transitional report which was authored by former Chief Minister David Francis, in which an auditing was done, way lead up to the white paper, bringing Justice Biobeleden for can interrogate or investigate former government officials whom they believed embezzled money. But obviously, it was a one-sided thing in which there was a pure witch hunt on the opposition party. And no need for good again, because it's been adjudicated upon already. It's people cannot conclude, how they see it. But if you were to take your time and read that report, you will see the element of tribe, region, party, and how one-sided they used the report for take action, which obviously was a political tool meant to disable another party for perpetuate the other in power. Because if you kill off your rival, just dismantle them. By the time they couple up, that will have taken quite a while. And you not just left them for like couple up. When you tell a couple up, you go, you seize one part, you question them for quite a period of time. Tell us like they go and come the report and etc. You materially you don't damage them. Psychologically, you don't damage them. It takes people, here for rise up above that. So as a consequence, as we understand again from the inside, obviously she was not, the former Chief Minister, Professor Francis, was not a fan of the First Lady. Remember, the First Lady is a determinant factor. And I make the analogy where I give about chess. For those of you where they play chess, say the queen and the general of the army around the man, in the chief protector. Yeah? Now in the conduct, and I make it move any side on the board, any side, and would take the bullet for the husband. So obviously, the faint found very early. And if you remember, there was a hint released because the First Lady can speak in hints. Remember, saying an actress, they can come and act, and what in act mean. Not call person in the name, but you throw hints and you know how to do them. Now, not all PhD, and a better PhD. If you remember something around that. So hence, then get rid of Professor Francis, which brings me again to the First Lady and Dr. Kande Kole Yumkela. I mentioned his name earlier because back in 2018, where he was on the scene, he was one of the favorites, to be honest. But in campaign, he kind of fizzle. The SLPP threw everything at him because they may prefer, if you like their own son, because this is how they put them. They call Dr. Kande Kenemwe, meaning stranger. Yeah. And within the party circle, the song Bidi Bidi. I don't speak Mende, but I know it's a song that I like. Anytime they play, I get up and dance. And when they play on side, you go see all the people and grab and dance. But it basically mean border where they are. This go. It's kind of deep as well. But this is a song that you can dance to because it gets some cultural beats to rap where you have to shake to it. For some people, they get a different favor, to rap, meaning something else to them. So when they dance and differently, not only for the beat, but within the song sort of represent. But it fall from Dr. Kande fall from grace, like I say, then disgrace him, molest in late mommy, may as well rest in peace. And they did the worst kind of thing to him. He managed to escape that and became a huge survivor. He was one of the biggest winners back in 2018 because yes, in bid for the presidency, potentially the presidency, but the flag bearer before the presidency, we didn't deny him. No work out, but eventually, waiting turn out for B was he became one of the biggest winners. He won an entire district with a number of MPs, a few number of MPs, had a town council, and boku other things them underground from the district of Cambia. So basically responsible for revenue, tax collection, and this is huge in government. And he was in parliament, almost like the third party or the fourth, because you had no, it was the fourth, I believe, the All People's Congress, SLPP, and Wesam Sumana and party name, and then Dr. Kande. The point I'm trying to make here is Dr. Kande in name not begin to surface with every passing week. With a look whether the week will become days and then hours. But for now, at time as week that in name don't begin to surface, now some circles them from some people them and people of prominence, people in the know, that most likely come 2028, he will be the anointed one. And from what you the understanding here, and remember, we say the first lady is the driving force behind a husband in campaign. So obviously, at the end of every day, as husband and wife, they meet home, they discuss tactics, they discuss strategies, they disagree and then agree, because why they've got a country to run. But they don't tell we publicly say that they will not be attempting for office. And for what they hear, because rumor been come out and some people in pull flyer, and this is the first lady in tactic. She's come to master the kind of thing there, you for play on the sentiment of people, on the very psyche, people in psyche. Let's be fair. Print out flyer for say first lady for president. Just for get people in reaction. And of course, it generates a lot of interest. But from your understanding, I think she knows that no, she will not win an election. I don't think she wants to run for office, not a presidential candidate, much more, first of all, the flag bearer of the SLPP. No. So obviously, not throwing her weight behind somebody else, and the preference is Dr. Kande as they understand. So Dr. Kande in him, they float now as potential flag bearer for 2028. And the reason why I'm beginning to buy into this, because I'm an observer, political observer, I like for refer to myself sometimes, which is we all don't begin to see how Dr. Kande in profile don't begin to rise. In official engagements, they don't begin to rise. In potential outlook, in action, them officially not begin to become very prominent, very pronounced. Dr. Kande signed an agreement there with this delegation from the World Bank. He had a meeting with executives, from the energy cooperation, things of that kind. So they are making the papers, they are making the news. In other words, they are beginning to front the man and begin to make him prominent, and they send the message bit by bit. It sounds like a long way away, but in politics, the 3 years, not a really long way away. It will soon come to pass. So you can see the president already don't begin the machination of the process, which is a pity for the All People's Congress, because they depend their own, tussle and hustle and battle instead of coming together, consolidating, and beginning to stand firm and preparing for what is to come. But unfortunately, it seems like more tragedy and drama will be unfolding. We'll talk about that in my next program, where they come in a few days' time, titled The Responsibility of APC Leaders, the responsibility or obligations of its members, and whether EBK is still in charge of the All People's Congress. But back to the First Lady, this has been a position. This is what it's going to take for manipulate the power, for consolidate the power, for harness the power. So power is concentrated right now the executive, right now that OSD. That's where decisions are made. And now within consent, she's playing a big part in it. And it's largely public if you get eyes for see. You see them. So Dr. Kande seems to be the name. And like I say, we're observing. It's not impossible for that change because there will be few other people them where go toss their hat into the ring. One of them might be Batilo. And again, this brings a problem that we don't begin to see in terms of delegates and the significance of delegates. Why the first lady again for tell you how much involved she in the power struggle and trying to keep that power within. I mean, she's out there, bonically. You don't hesitate, here for mass people and food. No, because you have to be ruthless in this power game. Because it's killed or be killed. It's really unfortunate. You get people where they fight against you for many, many reasons. And power now you get. And with power comes fame and most money. Money. So the woman get enough change now where in a family will never be hungry again. Don't amass properties around the world if you like. And get good change sitting in the bank and just making in stocks and things like that. So for let go, it's not easy. And when you go, you get for anoint somebody clearly. Unlike the All People's Congress, we entertain 28 other people, we bring feud within the party for the last 7-8 years. Why they have to do that? Instead of being clear, or at least reduce the pool of candidates to 3-4 prominent ones, but everybody that come declare say, okay, go try. And you create this scene will become so toxic that it left the party in the wilderness for a while, because even for consolidate or effects, the ruling party, it became difficult because the party became balkanized, it became factionalized, and the decision making was done de facto by the SLPP, directing a court magistrate, Judge Fisher, a court judge, Fisher, for carve the party up into now called balkanized into little sections, and say majority carries the votes. But it wasn't even definite, because then you get 9 man yanda, you get 3 man yanda, and you get, 10 man yanda. We can't even see eye to eye, can't get along, can't have a meeting. And they were supposed to be one, but not shape them already, which means that all of them had differences. And that's how they were manipulated, by the very government of the day. You can't blame anybody, but you blame them. So if Dr. Kane is the man, we'll be doing a program, and I'm excited if it turns out to be the man, then APC will need for match Dr. Kane with the most likely man. One of the most likely man, obviously, will be Dr. Kaifala Mara. Okay? Because if let me not go into that, that's for an entire program. I will leave that for now. But this is the case. So you don't see the woman get for maintain that power there, get for keep that power there within, and you can see in action. It turned out to be ruthless, and sometimes she looks gracious, smiling, and etc. But sometimes you see her face, you know exactly what the score is. I will end on this note. For just conclude. Now, because of all this, national delegates, the conference they come, and the delegates are very, very important and very much at the center structure of power within the party. Now, the canvassing can begin, because the more delegates you get, the more assurance you get for be the winner, or for direct things the way how you want for direct them. In other words, I am not contesting, but I get money, I get influence, so I'm buying delegates left, right, and center. So one of the elections, the OEA, we go viral. Now the recent one where the first lady was said to have taken the mic, they say drop the mic. No, I think that was an exaggeration. She actually asked for the mic and she was given the mic, and you get something to do with voting and phones. From the story again, where they come out inside, the man will conduct the election, I believe that was Lima. There are rules and say no phones. First lady again, you see the thing what they tell you? He insists say phones for go inside, but remember say they get law. We say, or rules, we say no phones will be permitted, and there are reasons why. But if I don't come up with that and say no phones, the people that were actually responsible where they conduct the business of the election and not agree on that, First Lady disagree. The question will be why? Why he get upset? Why he insist a phone for go? Now they then juicy story then can come out. And one of the stories then why is it's obvious that people were being paid to vote in a certain way. But when you go vote, because you know say vote na secret, na private. So you can take money from somebody, but when you go inside for go vote, a different thing now you do, now different person now you vote for. Sometimes you vote with your conscience. So even though you don't take somebody money, but because that person you not there, outside you go put you vote. You dey put up for which you believe in, whether you want. And because no evidence no dey. But the First Lady was smart enough so then give people a phone. I mean, people that have their phones. So when you vote, you take a picture of who you mark for. Because they don't give you 1 million or 1.5 million, or they don't give you bike. You know, this is huge. You Kalo no depend, and this is about power. So they say no phone they go inside the place. But they know phones have to go. Because you don't pay people already. And people need for can't show how they vote. See the problem? So she understands the nitty-gritty of what's happening. And you don't master this trick in a short period of time. In a short, it learn fast. In a short period of time. How for ruffle feathers, how for mass people. If I will say sorry later, no problem. But for now, I mean that the Chanam Pranaya. I mean that the power. So the delegate conference they come, very important. So then they can canvas now for try forget the leader. I mean the delegates them. And like we say again, the delegates where you get, and that will help for decide who that will normally win. Because if you get 20 delegates out of 30, you want to get 20. Majority carries the vote, then obviously now you posting where you want, now in go emerge as winner. Famulem, the First Lady, in the eyes of some people, is a divider in chief. I'm not sure that many people agree say she's a unifier. No. And from my analysis here today, that itself is evident enough that she is not a unifier, because people in they unify BNU because they don't want, they don't want waiting you want, the way how you want to go. Then get your idea them, then get your ideals them. But because you get power, you the ruffle feathers, you use your means, as you may know, but get things done and happen your way. So lots of people do not like that because then get your ideal them. That's what you want the way they dance with the First Lady. Of course. Then people and they comes where they fall off the table and they eat. I make you see them they dance so. Then they dance. But a lot of people, no, they disagree. Because some people them are very principled. They see their party in a different way. They don't like the way their party they go. They don't like the idea that yes, we have respect for the presidency, the president's now the party leader, but in West they interfere with party politics too much. We don't like it. So obviously, in the light of many, many people, and I'm sure the First Lady herself or people within his circle will agree with me, even if they don't say it now. Because remember, the only constant is change. Everything that goes up will have to come down. And power obviously will fuse. It will fade away one day and not very long. And then people will begin for talk. Some of them will be shameless because when they were needed to talk, they never did. They kept it. But later on, and one can't tell me the story, they're waiting me the happy inside, and why they not been do this and why they not been do that. That's not been civil enough. So yes, I think by the conclusion of many, the First Lady is a divider in chief, both within the party and on the national level, because even ministers that serve, she interferes with them. When they serve at a man in pleasure, she interferes with them. Some of them walk the road they weren't supposed to play. She interferes with that. These are public. You don't have to be a fly on the wall in a presidential lodge for let you know these things. They are public. Okay? Because one thing the woman likes to do is she loves acting. So she's very much on camera all of the time. And somebody finally need to advise the first lady that she is a real first lady, not a pretend first lady. She's real first lady of the country, not a pretend first lady. So she don't have to be telling people I'm the first lady as if you don't get assurance and security by repeating the same thing where people that know already is official. And as first lady, you don't need for the dance so boku. All say you rip and dance. Who's not that first lady where you see the dance around the world? And not to let you know dance, but occasionally, yes. But you said. And at 7 years now in the game. Ladies and gentlemen, we next program they come up in the next few days. Watch out for the flyer. It's titled The Obligations of the APC Leadership, the obligations of the membership, and whether EDK they in charge. Is going to be very interesting because sometimes the leadership not seem for understanding obligation towards the state, not only the party members. The members then get their own obligation towards the party. The leadership get obligation both to the members and the nation, because they aspire for power for govern not only the APC and its subscribers, members, and sympathizers, but an entire nation. So keep watch out. Okay. Pambule, on behalf of the dinner now, my name is Prince Emil Koma. Until we catch up again, like this video, please help for share, let the word go around. Thank you so much. See you again soon.